Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. May peace be upon you. This is Edward Ahmed Mitchell, the Deputy Director of the Council on American Islamic Relations, welcoming you to today's episode of CAIR on Air, the Muslim Action Hour. Thank you for joining us. I hope you all are doing well. Today is Tuesday, August 4th, 2020. Before we begin the program, let me note that, like many of you, I saw the horrific video out of Beirut this morning. And on behalf of the entire CAIR family, we extend our condolences to everyone and anyone impacted by this horrific event, the explosion that happened in downtown Beirut, injuring hundreds of people and taking the lives of an unknown number of people. We extend our condolences to anyone impacted by it, including any Muslims and Lebanese people who are here in America, who have family overseas who've been impacted. So may Allah grant healing to all those injured, paradise to all the believers who are lost, and protect us all from such disasters. Today's program, inshallah, is going to be about another tragedy that occurred here in the United States. As you all may know, just days ago, a Muslim woman named Rabiah Ahmad was shot and killed in the state of Maryland. Rabiah was pregnant. She passed away in the hospital, but the doctors were able to deliver her baby, who was in critical condition. The police have not yet identified the person or persons responsible for this incident, nor do they have a motive that has been publicly released. CAIR is doing what we can to help the family, and many members of the Muslim community are trying to support this family spiritually, financially, and otherwise. So inshallah, we'll be talking about that throughout most of the program. Let me start very briefly by sharing an update about a story that you all helped with, and that is an issue involving an anti-Muslim bigot who was slated for a Senate confirmation hearing last week, and that confirmation hearing was canceled. But then a bit of news broke yesterday, and we're going to have on our Government Affairs Director, Robert McCaw, to discuss that issue. Let's bring in Robert. Robert McCaw is the Government Affairs Director of CAIR National. Assalamu alaikum, Robert. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah. I'm doing very well. Thank you.
Well, yes, thank you so much for joining us. So Robert has been working on so many issues on Capitol Hill, but especially this issue. President Trump had nominated an anti-Muslim extremist named Anthony Tata, who is an ex-general, nominated him to serve in the third highest ranking position in the Pentagon, essentially as the director of the Pentagon's policy department. Anthony Tata, as we noted to you all, is a madman in terms of his anti-Muslim bigotry. He claimed that President Obama was a secret Muslim and a terrorist leader. He's attacked Islam over and over again. And this is the man that President Trump wanted to be in charge of policymaking. Robert, you helped lead an effort to expose this man's bigotry, to make sure his nomination did not pass through the Senate. Thankfully, enough senators saw the light. His Senate confirmation hearing was canceled. But then President Trump went ahead and appointed the man to a different position in the Pentagon. Can you tell us, Robert, what that position is, what Trump might be trying to do, and where we go from here in terms of Tata's placement in the Pentagon?
Definitely. I first want to thank everyone watching this program, because we've been campaigning since April, calling on the Senate U.S. Armed Services Committee to reject this nomination of Anthony Tata, a retired Army Brigadier General, to the position of Secretary of Defense for Policy. And you responded, and the Senate heard. And last Thursday, the confirmation hearing was canceled, and we were very excited because we took away any legitimacy that Tata can claim to this office. So what did Trump do? Trump does what Trump always does. He end runs Congress, and he appoints these officials like Tata to a deputy undersecretary position. And why is he doing this? So deputy undersecretary of Defense for Policy is the second in rank to that policy position that he was nominated to. And in 90 days after serving as the assistant to the Secretary of Defense for Policy, Trump is then legally able to appoint Tata to this secretary position that the Senate would not confirm him to. And so with that, the clock has already started on Monday. In 90 days from now, Trump could appoint Tata to the secretary position that the Senate would not confirm him to because he is an outright anti-Muslim bigot and Islamophobe and an unhinged conspiracy theorist. So now CAIR, Muslim advocates, and a number of other civil liberties organizations are monitoring how we're going to move forward in exposing Tata for who he is, and also monitoring the activities of the Department of Defense's policy office to make sure that his certain type of breed of Islamophobia is not infecting the work of this department.
Right, even more so than such bigotry is already infecting our government. I mean, you've got someone who honestly claimed that Barack Obama was a terrorist and a secret Muslim. If you're, I mean, you're an idiot. I mean, put aside the fact that you're a bigot and you are dumb. You do not need to be the third ranking person in charge of the Gap, much less the Pentagon, and in control of nuclear weapons and all sorts of dangerous firepower. This is insane. And so, you know, Robert, I know you're going to keep up the fight, and you're going to be working with these other groups to figure out the way forward. And we're happy to hear that you're still in the fight. And again, you can only do so much when the president is willing to go around Congress and appoint someone to these positions. But the fact that we were so vocal about this issue prevented Anthony Tata from getting the honor of a Senate confirmation. And so if we continue to be vocal about this, hopefully we can make sure that he does not stay in the Pentagon for much longer, spreading such nonsense. Any final thoughts, Robert, before we let you go?
Just that, you know, it's the hard work of concerned Americans reaching out to their senators, which prevented this hearing, and we took away any legitimate claim that Tata has to this office, and we've exposed the Trump administration for what it is, endorsing anti-Muslim bigots and having no problem with them serving in the U.S. government and lacking respect for the congressional vetting process. So we're going to keep on pushing this issue, and I'm going to keep on calling on the viewers' support to expose this for what it is.
All right. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for the update to the community about the situation with Anthony Tata. Inshallah, I know you'll keep us posted, and we will share more updates with the community as they come. Inshallah. Jazakallah khair, Robert. We'll talk to you soon. Assalamu alaikum. And so now, everyone, now that we finished the community update section of our program, we'd now like to go into the meat of today's show. And that is, as I mentioned, the murder of Rabiah Ahmad. May Allah have mercy upon her and grant complete healing and recovery to her child. We're going to bring on now CAIR Maryland's, the director of CAIR's Maryland Outreach Office, Zainab Chowdhury, great activist in her own right, a good friend. Assalamu alaikum, Zainab. How are you?
Walaikum assalam, Edward. I'm good, alhamdulillah. How are you doing?
I'm well. Alhamdulillah. We're even though these are sad circumstances, we're happy that you're here to walk us through this, and happy that you've been involved in this situation to help the family. Can you just tell us, you know, what happened for those who are not familiar with the story of what happened to the sister? What happened in Maryland last week to the sister, and you know, how's her family responded?
So first of all, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. On behalf of CAIR, we want to extend our sincere condolences to the family of Rabiah Ahmad, as they're navigating this tragic, this tragedy that's befallen their family. So as many of you might have heard, on Friday evening, as many Muslims around the country were celebrating the Eid al-Adha holiday, Rabiah Ahmad, who is a 30-year-old young African-American Muslim sister, was at home in her own house, and she was just, watching television according to family and friends. And when somebody or the perpetrators who perpetrated the crime drove past their house and opened fired with numerous times into the home, and one of the bullets struck Sister Rabiah, and she was the only individual in the house who was struck. She was taken to shock trauma. As you can imagine, it was a very traumatic time for her family, for her friends who were there with her at that time. Unfortunately, she did not survive this horrific attack. The doctors were able to deliver her baby. So there is the baby Aja, is a beautiful name, mashallah. She's in the NICU currently, fighting for her life. She's in critical condition. And so we're just, doing everything that we can to support the family, to make sure that justice is brought to this young sister who had her entire life ahead of her, who was looking forward to a new life with her new child, and just working with the family to make sure that they have the resources and support they need to be able to navigate this very difficult and very traumatic time.
Absolutely, and we appreciate that, Zainab. We have a quote from the family they released over the weekend. We want to share that. And Zainab, as we put it up on the screen, our producer will do that for us, inshallah. As we put that up, I'd love to ask you, Zainab, to read it for us so that we can hear how the family is addressing this, what words they have for the community, and how we can all be of assistance to them. Because at the end of the day, that Sister Rabiah, is with Allah now. Her child is still with us, and we've got to do what we can, inshallah, to help her. So let me, I think I can share my screen. Can you see my screen, Zainab?
I can see it, yes.
Okay. So if you're able to read it, go ahead and read it. Otherwise, I will, the quote here.
So in a joint statement to CAIR yesterday, actually, Rabiah's family said that they wanted to share a statement on behalf of the family with the community. And the statement reads, "In the name of Allah, praise be to Allah, the cherisher and sustainer. We are asking, no pleading with the fine people of the Howard County community to assist us in finding the person or persons responsible for the murder of our beloved. Because of this senseless act, Rabiah's little baby girl, Aja, is left to fight the battle of her little life, a little precious life who should still be in her mommy's womb right now, whole and healthy. This is a great and devastating blow to the entire Ahmad, Najee, Dawson, Bailey families. This doesn't make sense. Please help us find little Rabiah's killer. Thank you." And Edward, I've got to add, over the weekend on Sunday, I had the opportunity to meet with the family at the hospital at Shock Trauma Center. And subhanAllah, the way that this family bonded together, obviously it was Eid weekend, and many of her family members lived in Florida and in Georgia. And everybody just pretty much dropped everything and drove to Maryland to be together in this time. And I think that, that's really an indication of the legacy and the impact that she had within her own family. She really touched hearts, and listening to her mother, Sister Jamila, sharing anecdotes of her history of activism, of her compassion, of the way that she interacted with children and animals. Really, subhanAllah, this was really somebody who I think touched lives in a very profound way. So our hearts go out to the family, and we're just doing everything we can. CAIR's been in touch with law enforcement, and we're trying to, maintain a pulse on the investigation, try to understand, what the scope of that investigation entails. Currently, right now, there isn't a lot of information that they've been able to share, but we're hopeful that the rewards that both the Howard County Police Department and CAIR have both announced will help help encourage anybody with information to come forward and help to deliver justice for this family that they deserve.
And my understanding, Zainab, is that the police department and CAIR are offering $5,000 rewards for information leading to the arrest, in the case of CAIR, the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for this incident. Is that right?
Correct. The Howard County Police Department is offering $5,000 and CAIR is offering $5,000. And so collectively, there's a $10,000 reward for information. And police are also encouraging all the neighbors who might have like the video ring doorbells or security surveillance cameras to also check those. And the incident happened around 11 p.m. on Friday night. So around that time, if you can go back and check the history of your devices and make sure that if there's anything that's on there that could be helpful, even if you don't think it's helpful, but if there's anything on there that might be helpful, to share that with police so they can try to get to the bottom of this and help find out who did this and bring justice to Rabiah and her daughter, especially, and her family.
Wonderful. And there's also, my understanding, a Launch Good campaign that has been started for this is to help with the family and the funeral expenses and the care for her daughter, who again is in the hospital. How many months was her daughter, Zainab? Do you know when?
28 weeks along.
28 weeks. So that's 7 months or so?
About 7 months along.
7 months. MashaAllah. All right. May Allah grant her complete shifa, complete healing. So we don't know who did it. There's really no motive or not even a suspicion yet. And again, she was, we obviously are always concerned when we hear about a Muslim, being shot and killed in this day and age, about the possibility of bigotry. In this case, she was shot inside of a house, so we really don't know. Is the answer? We as you put it, Zainab, there are many unanswered questions. And so people in the community, if you know something, you can be of great assistance, inshallah, in helping to solve this horrific crime. And the family is waiting. They're waiting to find out if this young child will make it, and they're waiting to see if justice will be served. In this life, we know it will be served in the next, one way or another, inshallah. So, Zainab, let me ask you, how's the Muslim community responded to this incident in Maryland?
People have definitely reached out, and with the Launch Good campaign that was released yesterday, we have started circulating that locally, encouraging people to donate. Now, Rabiah's family is planning to conduct the burial, inshallah, I believe in Florida, they were saying. So they will need help to cover costs of the burial expenses. And there's also going to be medical costs for the infant, for baby Aja, that they're going to need support for. And so we're encouraging the Muslim community to step up in this difficult time and to share, share whatever you can, donate whatever you can to support this family in this very difficult time. They have rights upon us to support them in this difficult time, inshallah. And there has been an outpouring of support. And I think especially now with the pandemic, because a lot of folks are self-isolating, they're socially distanced from one another. It's hard to really show support in the way that we would like to, in the sense that people cannot physically go and visit the family. But people have been reaching out, asking how they can contact the family, what their needs are, if they can deliver food. And so it's heartwarming to see that in this kind of moment, when the community recognizes that we're all impacted by these kind of tragedies, that they want to step up and support. So it's reassuring to see that. I know it means a lot to the family to know that even though that they're new to Maryland, they've traveled here after learning news about this horrible tragedy, but there's a local community who also wants to make sure that they know that they're not alone in this.
Absolutely. And Zainab, you and I were talking earlier about the importance of, the community stepping up, to help when people, regardless of their, how the incident happened, why it happened, the identity of the person, that we should all be supporting each other when incidents like this happen. And, some people might say, well, why is CAIR helping in this situation? I think someone in the comments said, sounds like a random drive-by shooting. Someone asked, why is CAIR helping in this? Well, the first thing is that, Muslims, when a Muslim dies, that death is murder. That death needs to be taken just as seriously as anyone else's death, right? We want to make sure law enforcement takes it seriously. And that goes also especially for African American Muslims, right? Black lives matter, right? Whether it was a drive-by shooting, a hate crime, a random crime, whatever, this crime needs to be fully investigated. The family needs to be supported. And an organization like CAIR is in a position to help. And no matter what the motive turns out to be, inshallah, if we can help in a situation like this, we're going to help. You all may remember it was a few years ago, a young Muslim woman was attacked in a late evening in Ramadan by a crazy, horrible, evil man who attacked a group of Muslim children, kidnapped her and killed her. Now, at the time, we didn't know what the motive was for that attack. We weren't sure exactly who this person was or why he did it, but we and other Muslim community members stepped up to help this person because it was the right thing to do. So that's what we're doing here again. Did I have that right, Zainab?
No, that's an excellent point, Edward. And I think it's also worth pointing out and noting the fact that right now there isn't much information at all in terms of what the cause was for this horrific murder. So we can't rule out anything. We can speculate. We can say we don't think it's this, but until there's evidence and there's hard facts and information that the law enforcement authorities are able to provide at this point is pure speculation. So I think that CAIR taking this step is absolutely the right step. I think it's important for us to band around our brothers and sisters, our community members who are impacted by this kind of hate or violence, and show support and solidarity, and try to get closure for the family. At the end of the road, our objective is to make sure that justice is served for this family, that they know that organizations like CAIR have their back, that we will step up and support and do what we can to make sure that justice is served, inshallah, for both Rabiah, for her daughter Aja, who still, mind you, is in the NICU, who's still struggling for her life. We make dua that she is able to pull through, inshallah, and be resilient and steadfast in her, in her identity and her faith, and that the family is able to also have closure. Because right now, I was speaking to the mom on Sunday, Sister Jamila, and she was mentioning to me that one of the hardest parts about this is not knowing who would do something like this. And the family, this is something that completely was unexpected. They, couldn't have imagined something like this. I don't think anybody really imagined something like this happening.
Right.
But not having any information at all, I think, is really hard for them to digest right now. So, yeah.
Right. The callous, the callous nature of it, the horrible nature of it, and the lack of an explanation, the lack of a motive or reason won't make anything better, won't make it okay. But if you lose someone, you want to know why, what led to this, and what can I do perhaps to make sure something like this doesn't happen again? So whether it's a hate crime, a crime of passion, whatever it is, when we can find out what the cause is, then it does provide closure and can help us to, put ourselves into addressing some sort of root problem, whatever that may be. So I do hope that we get an answer to this. I hope justice is served. I hope that whoever did this, you never know. I hope they will, if they will come forward and accept responsibility for it. And if they're not willing to do that, then I hope they are caught and addressed accordingly. Zainab, where do we go from here? What's the next step?
So from here, we're encouraging our community members and anybody who's watching, just a larger community, to share the Launch Good campaign to help spread awareness about the fact that this family could use our support. They deserve our support. And also to spread the word about the reward and encourage anybody who might have information to contact local police. So the number that they can call if they have any information is 410-313-STOP. And they can also email hcpdcrimetips@howardcountymd.gov. Again, that's hcpdcrimetips@howardcountymd.gov. Callers can remain anonymous. You can still be eligible for the reward. You don't have to divulge your identity. I know sometimes that's something that causes people to be more reluctant to come forward. But at this point, we really just want to do what we can to encourage the community to step up to support and to encourage anybody with information to contact law enforcement and help bring closure for this family.
And the phone number, once again, Zainab, is 401-313-STOP. Is that correct?
410.
410, excuse me. 410-313. Okay, got it. So that's in the comments right now. 410-313-STOP. So, and then the other thing, I'll actually, our producer, make sure that number is correct in the comments for us. So, with that, I think let's maybe close with a dua for the family, and we encourage everyone, to make dua on your own as well. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Astaghfirullah wahdahu la sharika lahu al-hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayh. Thank you, Allah, for everything. Thank you for all the blessings you've bestowed upon us. Thank you for all the blessings we neglect to thank you for, and thank you for any blessings that may have yet in your mercy to come. O Allah, grant complete healing to this young baby whose mother has been taken away. Grant this baby complete healing, complete shifa. Allow her to grow up to be a healthy, devout, believing, strong, intelligent, beautiful Muslim who does amazing good deeds that accrue back to her mother's benefit. Have mercy upon her mother, forgive her and grant her paradise, protect her from all the difficulties of the hereafter, and bring justice to her family in this life, in the next, and allow us all to be of assistance to that end. Accept our prayers, answer our dua, and protect us all in soul, mind, body, family, and property. Wassalatu wassalam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Thank you so much, Zainab. Any final thoughts you want to share before we wrap up?
No, just I think you pretty much said it all. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family, and I know the family appreciates everybody who's expressed support. So please donate what you can, help spread the word, encourage anybody with information to come forward, and continue to keep the family in your du'as.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone. And again, we're going to post the number in the chat. It's 410-313-STOP. 410-313-STOP. If you have any information you want to report anonymously, or you can report it with your name. And either way, you would be eligible for the reward, inshallah. So again, that number one more time is 410-313-STOP. Thank you so much, Zainab. May Allah grant you success in the work that you're doing, and please keep us updated, and hopefully, inshallah, we get some great news about the young baby who is in the NICU unit right now, and also get some news about who's responsible for this incident, inshallah. Thank you. Thank you, Zainab. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum. And thank you all for joining us on today's episode of CAIR on Air, the Muslim Action Hour. I know the topic is distressing and depressing, but we want to talk about these issues that are important to the whole community. Again, we hope that you will, if you have any information, call the authorities to share that information. We hope that you will support the Launch Good campaign to assist the family with burial arrangements and also with taking care of the young baby who is in the hospital right now in the NICU unit. And of course, most of all, make dua for the family and for this young child. Inshallah, we'll see you again on Thursday at 3 p.m. Hopefully, we'll be able to share some positive updates about this and other stories. And of course, as always, if there's an issue you would like us to address, email us at info@cair.com or put it in the comments so that we can address that topic on a future program. Thank you so much for joining us. Assalamu alaikum. May peace be upon you.